Today, from Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Week 17 of the NFL on EA Sports.
By many accounts, one of the most underrated home venues in all of the NFL resides in the heart of Nashville, Tennessee, and that's where we find ourselves at Nissan Stadium. Today, the curtain falls on the regular season, and we've got a good one in store between the Miami Dolphins and the Tennessee Titans. The Dolphins take the field with Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback from Alabama, at the helm.
And he's certainly putting together an MVP-type season, leading the league in both passing yards and touchdown passes. There have not been too many defenses that have been able to stop him or even slow him down. So he's got his sights set on another. Big game right here.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. This is caught at the 20. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Henry runs. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead.
If you didn't know it, it won't surprise you to find out that this team leads the league in scoring. They've been a quick strike team all season long. There's another example. They did it again. This offensive coordinator, right now you can write his ticket towards being a head coach. He's advanced in the ways of offense.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And no return here for Evans as they will bring this out to the 25. Here comes the Tennessee offense, and you see Ryan Tannehill leading them out.
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it, but otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense, get things going, and see how things settle in.
Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 18 carries, 103 in the yardage department.
Well, he's the number 2 runner in the league, and you just know the offensive line wants to get him to number 1 because most of the good ball carriers, they take care of their linemen. Could be a gold watch in their future if he becomes the leading rusher.
From the 31, Tannehill. And he'll get this underneath to Henry. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive. And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up. And this is going to be a Titans first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
I remember watching Derrick Henry come out of Alabama and sitting with some scouts, and one of the debate points with him was, while at Bama, how often did he have to deal with contact near the line of scrimmage? They were so good up front that he often got to the second level pretty easily. I think he's starting to answer those questions with runs like that. He's a physical guy.
Derrick Henry. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4. This defense for the Dolphins, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
This defense certainly has a lot to be proud of coming off of last week's game because when you only give up 14 points in a contest, You give your team a great chance to win. The best defense in the league is usually going to average giving up 18, 19 points a game. So to be under that, a terrific achievement. Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. First look now for Darrington Evans. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. To throw is Tannehill. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And he will have a Titans first down as they get... there on 3rd and 2. Here's Tannehill. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
Well, Brandon, obviously no panic in them. They gave up the touchdown. You know, their defensive side did that. But he's already taken them back downfield. I love this field general that they've got. It's almost like he went to the defensive captain and said, don't worry about it. We've got you. Now they got 1st and goal.
Yeah, we're seeing punch counter. Open man, Julio. Touchdown, Tennessee. Julio Jones. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Titans are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Extra point up and good by Bullock. And that will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. On the return, Lynn Bowden. He's at the 50. The 30, 10, 5, and all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Call that a 96-yard house call on the kick return. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. Such an electric play, so much fun to watch, and you need all 11 guys in sync for that to be successful, don't you?
Without a doubt. That's teamwork, to be able to put it all together. But that play is really probably the most exciting 10 seconds in football.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that makes the score 14-7. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. The Titans coming back onto the field for their 2nd drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to throw, Tannehill. Over the middle, complete. That's more. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. winding down toward the midway point in quarter one. They'll run on first down with Evans. Good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the broken tackle. 2nd and 8. Now it's Tannehill. Caught on the right side by Jones. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. And that one a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was really easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
And we'll see if it's that easy here. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
Looking deep downfield. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle, touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. A nice throw there by the 2nd-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie. Because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a 2nd and sometimes 3rd progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and it's now 21-7. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And Hilliard will elect to not return it. Tennessee offense set to go again. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. But you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. On 3rd down, Foreman. And he's brought down, but not before picking up the 1st with a very effective stiff arm.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up 1st downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't it?
Now a 1st down throw, Tannehill. Got this complete to Racey McMath. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 3rd down, Foreman. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played. They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. Complete to Jones. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well, there wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected. But sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to. So sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Some guys just have a knack for creating turnovers. He's got a little bit of that going. He forced a fumble last week, another one there.
And it just drives teams crazy because they realize that certain guys...
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need full possession.
After review the play, the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Here's Brett Kern now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Bowden now to return. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. Tua Tagovailoa in the offense heading back out. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he? It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Dolphins. Jalen Waddle with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Sanders on for the extra point. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And Hilliard will elect to not return it. Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone's talking about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
On second down now, Foreman. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
From the gun on third down, Tannehill. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
They'll run on first down. Hilliard, and that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On second down, Hilliard. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's second and 11.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily. You're right, but he did there. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on second down and 11. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Second and 11 at the 41. They'll try the air now with Tannehill. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Just a gain of a couple there. And they're going to have a third down. From the gun, here's Tannehill. That's caught by McMahon. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And that's going to bring up a fourth down. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Then the Dolphins getting set to go here. And following that long touchdown pass, a 1-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
2 and now on first down. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10. Here's Tua. He's going to rifle one deep left side. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown. Jalen Waddle with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Dolphins are able to add on to their first half lead. So not only is that his third touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the route is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here comes Ryan Tannehill now, leading his offense back out there. A lot of the problems have been on the other side of the ball. Is that frustrating for a quarterback who's been playing well?
It is, but there's no way that the best ones let their teammates know that. They actually take it upon themselves and say, okay, I have to do even more, or I need to play better. Maybe even say I put my defense in a bad spot. That's what true leadership shows you.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need to change much personally. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Tannehill.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
The Titans on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 10. Man open, here is Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
A first down carry for Henry. And able to use the stiff arm to gain leverage initially, but not much room thereafter. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Tannehill going to turn and give this to Henry. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
A give to the fullback on the dive. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Here's Brett Kern now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now Carter. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
A good solid game there on 1st down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
A little more room here on 2nd and 6 from the 6. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. They find some open field here. And they work this out past the 25.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
Setting to throw on first down is Tua. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Dolphins. Jalen Waddle on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on.
Okay, we need to double check here with Marvin because he keeps all of our good stats. But what I've got is 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, and they've got a nice, healthy lead.
Well, after the first drive, we thought things might be clicking. They're really clicking at this point. They're clicking about as much as they can click.
And right
I just said click a lot.
Yes, you did, but that's okay because the guy who's coordinating the defense, trying to slow them down,
good luck.
He's going to have hair that looks like mine very soon. Not much of it.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The time again to see what Ryan Tannehill and the Titans can do. And how does he rally the troops, so to speak? He's played well, but they're down big on the scoreboard. How does he get his guys going?
To make sure they understand it's not a me game, it's a team game. Everyone has to come together. Everyone has to up the level of play a little bit, including himself, and find a way to make some plays in order to give them a little bit of a spark and rally the team.
We'll see if they can indeed rally down big on the scoreboard right now. Coming up on 2nd and 7. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Normally when you see a short gain in the middle of a 3-4 defense, go ahead and pat the nose tackle on the back because he's holding things up and taking on extra blockers, which allows one of the inside linebackers to roam free and make the tackle.
Here's Tannehill. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Tua and the rest of the Dolphin offense heading back out. And he's been magnificent as we start to roll on all these touchdowns. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this...
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown. Henry Ruggs. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Dolphins have taken a 6-touchdown lead.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the rout is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him and keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Tackled by Isaiah Simmons. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On 2nd and 7, Tannehill. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, but it looked like the Titans were able to recover, and indeed they will keep possession of the ball.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Well, they've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball, where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it. And on that play he did. So you got to steel yourself at that point because the contact is going to be strong.
A great return there of 22 yards. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. And the Dolphins with one final possession here in this first half. And we'll see how aggressive they want to be in these final stages before the half.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. Hey, check Mike, check Mike. Watch it.
2 and now on 1st down. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami. Jalen Waddle, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Here comes Ryan Tannehill now, leading his offense back out there. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now, his goal is to increase what he's doing on the field, try to make sure his teammates come along with him, and he feels like if I do better, everyone will do better. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
Yeah, a little extra determination. He has thrown the touchdown pass. No interceptions for him personally to this point. Throwing again on second down. Tannehill. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well.
Well, it's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, you got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit, and we're not even at halftime.
The final shot here before the break. Tannehill. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And this, a 6-point differential as they've gone to halftime. Tom Brady, sharp as ever. He's got 2 touchdown passes. From there, we head to the Big Easy to check on the Saints at home in the Superdome. And they trail in their ball game at halftime to the visiting Carolina Panthers. Philip Dorsett, 2 touchdown catches in that first half alone. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting Jaguars. Damian Harris, the lone touchdown there as he's cashed one in on the ground. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race. Very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And the half will begin with a touchback. The Titans getting set to go here to begin the third quarter, and they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half, so where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely, but you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
A gain of 3, second down. Out of the gun, Tannehill. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Derek Brown, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
So 3rd and long after the sack. Tough task for Tannehill and the Titans.
Mike 55, Mike 55, Mike 55. You better be afraid of me. You better.
They're going to look to throw. Open man is McMath. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats?
Who?
You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
that
by the time we have to leave the booth.
On the handoff, it's Gaskin. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
So, Charles, for this offense, we've been talking all year about how difficult it would be to run the table. And you gave me your chances early in the year. You thought maybe 25%. A few weeks ago, you thought closer to 50, but not quite 50. Now here they are, 15-0. This is happening, isn't it?
I think it is, Brandon, because I do believe this team is too invested, too well coached to fall asleep at the switch now. And I think it ultimately benefits them to stay engaged all the way through the season because make it to the finish line, then they get the open week to refresh and re-energize. But if you get off the gas now, that can really hurt you come playoff time.
And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Running right through him. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. And this defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Here's Gaskin. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. When he runs, he seems to do a nice job of knowing when to be patient and find the hole, and then when the hole is there, he goes quickly.
You're exactly right. He knows how to just take off, but you know what else? Brings a little thump with him, doesn't he?
He does.
He packs the boom at the end of the run and finishes it going forward. That's what you want to see out of your backs.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Mike's by 4, Mike's by 4, Mike's by 4. He don't know no better.
They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
Working with a 2nd and 3.
Let's go, let's go. 54 is Mike, 54 is Mike. Check, watch 54, watch 54.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Here we go. Right there. 54, right
Gaskin will score. Touchdown, Miami.
Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns, running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone? We saw evidence of that on that play.
Sanders on for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So that drives 7 plays in length.
And it was capped off by a Myles Gaskin touchdown run.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
The Titans offense now, they get set to head back out here. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point.
Second down, they go again with Henry. 42 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Now Tannehill. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just given him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them too.
Yeah, now they're just looking to add to that total.
Six yards left on second down.
54, Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Check. Lucky.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Stop your whining. Mike 55. Hey, eat.
Gonna give this time to the tailback.
And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And he'll have a Dolphins first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. This is Gaskin on the carry. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 48 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender and then the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, it's sometimes a thing of beauty.
runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Going to do it for this third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. 2nd and 9. Out of the pistol, here's Williams. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. They'll run now with Gaskin. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. 56 yards rushing for him here as he starts to close in now on 1,200 yards for the season.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now Williams. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Check 50, check 50.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Second down at 7. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line.
I know we're in the era of wide-open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Myles Gaskin, his second TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Dolphins are closing in on that 16-0 record as they add on to their lead. So another score there, and often you talk about the three phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trite expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage. At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
On 2nd and 10, Tannehill. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Tannehill. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. So that one will be accepted. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Come off the ball. 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Let's get
Williams. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. The Dolphins on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 7. Again, it's Williams. Williams is going to have the first down and a little more. 20, 10, and he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A big play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on. They seemingly just continue to score at will. And as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win. But one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that when he's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely.
Miami set to take over. And they have to be feeling pretty good. Comfortable fourth quarter lead as they take over following the fumble recovery. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line.
82 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to bowl his way into the end zone for the Dolphins score. Myles Gaskin taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Dolphins use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. As that lead just swells and swells. Look, this has been dominance in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams.
So don't we have to give a lot of credit, not just to what we've seen today, but the preparation in advance, coaching staff, commitment by the players to the game plan, and being ready to go in this one? You're exactly right. Clean sweep. And, boy, they're going to celebrate this one after it's over.
And on the other side, this is the game film you just flush and never go back and review. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Time again to see what Ryan Tannehill and the Titans can do.
And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, well, man, what do you need? What's going on here? So always one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now.
And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Tannehill now to throw. Throw left left side complete. That's Jones. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
And his throw is going to be incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Throwing again is Tannehill. He's going to look deep down the field. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. On the return is Bowden. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. The Miami's offense set and ready to go. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
54's Mike. 54's Mike.
They'll try and run down some clock with Williams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Mike 54. Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it down to the 47 here.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches.
Another run with Gaskin. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. Open space inside the 10. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that will extend this big lead. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he returns this to the 22.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. From the 24, Tannehill. He's going to let it fly.
And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. One last throw here for Tannehill. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Miami,
they're a win away now from running the table here in the regular season. They moved to 16-0 on the year.
that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. With that, we sign off from Nashville.